Hello, Nashville. Global Game Jam organizer John Gale here with an update for you on progress of the 2019 Global Game Jam planning progress. But first of all, I'd like to wish everybody a happy 2019. It is January 1st, 2019, which means the Global Game Jam is only a few weeks away on January 25th, 26th, and 27th. So I hope everybody had great holiday travel and a happy new year. As you can hear, I'm a little stuffed up. I actually got sick right after all the holiday travel, and I've been out of it for a while. So if you'll just excuse the voice and everything, I'm really excited to get back into things. So what's going on with Global Game Jam planning? Well, as we've entered the new year, our deadline to register locally in Nashville and guarantee a free t-shirt is coming up in just a few days. January 5th was the date we were going to call for registering for a guaranteed t-shirt. This is because we have to put in our t-shirt order in around January 6th or 7th. So for all the people who are registered on our Eventbrite page by January 5th, and you put your t-shirt size information and everything in there, you will be guaranteed a t-shirt in that size. If you miss this deadline, can you still participate in the Global Game Jam? Yes, of course. Can you still possibly get a t-shirt? Yes, we do order a few extras, but we've got to wait until we give out pretty much all the guaranteed ones first. So my question is, I know, some people need to get their work schedules and everything straight, but if you've got that weekend free, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead and register. I've got the links to register in this video description, and I've talked about that in previous videos. Also, with the planning progress, our expenses are coming in. Oh, and more about registration. Sorry. Looks like we've got 71 people. When I checked before the holidays, 71 people have registered on Eventbrite. I'm sure it's much more than that right now. That's great, because we're looking to get 150 people for this event. And along those lines, that's where we get to the funding. We do need additional sponsorship and funding. I have this GoFundMe page set up where people can donate and get that public visibility and that public transparency. And so far it's working. There's actually some sponsorships that have come in that I've not recorded on here yet, some direct sponsorships. But even with pledges, because I know some companies, especially now that we've entered the new year, they have to look at their finances and determine how much they can sponsor for. And so I can understand all that. And anyone whose company is able to sponsor, if you can give me a pledge of how much and your logo, I can make sure that you're guaranteed to get on the back of the t-shirt before January 5th. And then we'll get the payment finalized later. But even with all the pledges and all the support that people have been pouring into this, I've calculated that we're still in need of about $600 of funding to pull this event off, to hit that $3,000 mark. And again, as organizer, I'm on the hook for this personally, and I'm happy to do it because I believe in this event. But as you could probably imagine with your own personal financial situation, I just don't have $600 to be like, yeah, here you go. Here's this event. Here's $600 on my own money to make sure this event happens. So really am begging and asking for your guys' help to help promote sponsorship, the GoFundMe page, and also if you can just chip in $5 for that GoFundMe page. If everybody in the group, as I said before, threw in that $5, it'd be done. It'd be over. If we get 150 people, everybody chipped in $5, that's $750. That makes up the rest of that shortfall right there. And as I've said before, if you go to a gaming conference or hackathons or any other similar events, ours is free. Those other ones can cost you $60, $100. In 2010, when I went to the Game Developers Conference, it cost me $700 just to get to that. So $5 for this event is a steal. It's a really good deal. And I know we've got the people in our group, as I've said before, because we have almost 1,000 people in our Facebook group. So that's what I'm asking you guys is just help me out, chip in that $5 and share the GoFundMe page with your friends. Now, enough of that. As you can see, we do get it's been about 145 people in the past, and we like to take pictures and record the event, of course. And up until now, it's always just been, the organizers or the volunteers and the planners and the staff using their phones to take pictures. But I'm really happy for 2019 to announce that we will have an official photographer, George Darling Photography. George Darling, a longtime active member of the group. George has agreed to be our official photographer for Global Game Jam 2019. And you can check out George's website for some of the great looking photography he's doing. And it's such a relief because I'm not a photographer. I can just take crappy pictures with my phone, but I'm really excited that George is going to be helping out as official photographer, and we'll get some nice looking pictures for the 2019 Global Game Jam. So thank you again, George, for helping out with that. As I posted in the Facebook group for Nash Game Dev, the keynote speakers of the 2019 Global Game Jam have been announced. And I'm not going to go into the detail of the speakers and their backgrounds. You can read about it on the Global Game Jam website. I do have this link in the video description. What I've noticed, though, is that there appear to be 3 keynote speakers. Looks like, as I interpret this, there will be 3 keynote videos for the 2019 Global Game Jam. And the videos tend to run about 8 minutes apiece. And if we do the math, that means there will be 24 minutes of keynote video to get through in our opening ceremony process. Now, Friday night, January 25th, what happens is about 6 o'clock, we open the doors for people to register, get some pizza, socialize, network, and then at about 7, we start the opening ceremonies. As part of that, we need to recognize our local sponsors. We need to play the keynotes. I'm leaving it plural for now. And then we need to announce the theme. And the way our venue works is we actually only have until about 11:30 each night to use the venue. We have to be completely cleared out of there by midnight. So around 11:30 every night, we'll be clearing people out, start shutting things down. And so all of that to say, Friday night, January 25th, we basically have from 7 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. to do theme announcement, brainstorming, form teams, and get to planning the games that we're going to make over that weekend. So if you think 7 to 11:30, of that short amount of time, my thought as organizer is that 24 minutes to play 3 keynote videos is a significant amount of that precious little time. And I think it's a lot, and I'm going to be frank, I think it's too much. And that's why I put the discussion in the Nash Game Dev Facebook group, because I am concerned about, everybody gets together, you meet each other, you got all this creative energy going on, and you hear the theme, and you just want to start working on that game. And I feel like amidst all that energy, if we just throw in 24 minutes of keynote video, that we could really hamper things and really hamper projects. 2 years ago, I feel like if our team had 24 more minutes to work on our project, we would have finished, and we did not finish that year. And as the discussion on the Facebook group has been going, some people say they really like the keynotes because that gets them inspired. And I understand that, and with all that creative energy going on, we want to add to that. We want to have keynotes that are really inspiring like that. And I think back to past keynotes. My first Game Jam, Global Game Jam, was 2016. And the first keynote was she said, hey, here's a game we made at Game Jam years ago. And then we actually made it into a full game later. And then we actually made a company. And she worked at that startup company now. And that was really inspiring. Or in 2017, Extra Credits did a bonus video as the keynote. Extra Credits did the keynote. So it's just like an episode of the YouTube show Extra Credits, but specifically for the Global Game Jam 2017. And that was very much, here's what you can expect. Here's what you're going to go through. Here's some things you need to remember. Here's some tips to keep you on track and to help you work efficiently. And I thought that was also very inspiring and a helpful keynote video. So of these videos, we hope they'll all be like that. But then going back to 2016, I remember the second video was by someone whose title was like futurist or futurist blogger or something that made me think, is that a job? Like, is that a real job type thing? And the video showed some clips of the movies, like the Terminator movies, and proposed this idea that we always think cyborgs are scary. And then later showed some videos of a child with prosthetic limbs. And it's like, but isn't this little girl also a cyborg? So what are we scared of? And I guess as like a discussion of technology and maybe somewhat related to the game industry on a philosophical level, it might have been interesting to some people, but I feel like really the guy just had something to say. He had something to say about technology, and it wasn't really geared towards the Game Jam, or especially people it's their first time at the Game Jam. And it was me, and I remember seeing this video and thinking like, I've mixed up in this event with a bunch of weirdos. This guy's talking about cyborgs and stuff. And from the discussion on the Facebook group, that's kind of what I feel like with the keynotes. First of all, we do have the liberty to plan what we do, to show one keynote, to show all three for 24 minutes, to show no keynotes. We do have some planning freedom like that. I do want to make the keynote videos and the information available to everyone through Slack channels and Facebook so that people can watch them. But I am concerned about that 24-minute time, and I'm also concerned about videos where it's just someone has something to say about the industry or about technology or about video games. And then the question is this really the time to be eating up that little bit of time we have to make our game over the weekend? Is this really the time just for someone to say something because they have something to say? I have something to say. I'm saying it right now. You have something to say. Post it in the comments. Let's say it. Normally, I think that open discussion is very healthy, and I think those types of discussions take place at gaming conferences, at whether it's GDC in San Francisco or some of the smaller ones other members go to. It is very important to say things and to have that discussion. The Global Game Jam, though, I feel is very much more about the networking and the skill development, more than it is about discussions and problems facing the industry or the world as a whole. So if you would like to, please contribute to that discussion on the Facebook group to give us some more ideas. In conclusion, that's my basic feeling, is to sacrifice 24 minutes for keynote videos is asking too much at the Nashville Global Game Jam. When us planners, it will not be a solo decision. I will consult the other planners about this. When we see the videos, we will determine sort of how useful and how helpful we think they are, and may choose what we consider to be the most helpful video and just play the one keynote. Then maybe we could show the other keynotes at closing or sometime on Saturday. It depends. So I would like any of your feedback about the keynotes, and it can be completely honest. Last year, there was one keynote that very much was trying to encourage and support people, but it had a lot of foul language in it, and the organizers decided not to play it for that reason, but still made the link available. Again, we have minors in the group. We welcome that. Just a reminder, minors have to be with a parent or guardian at all times. And then the video we did play in 2018, I think the person had a lot of experience in the industry. In the video, they said they were part of the very first Global Game Jam. But I think she just didn't have a lot of time and had to put something together on her phone, and went up to the roof of her apartment and just filmed this video and then said these things. And it was encouraging, but people came to me later, or I asked, and I was like, how'd you think about the video? And they said it was boring. And so you can say that feedback. You can say, I thought the video was boring, and I would have rather spent the 8 minutes working on my game. Any of that type of feedback, or if you have the opposite feeling, if you say, I felt it was very inspirational, then you can please say that, because that's what we want to know. We want to make this experience the best for the Nashville people. What's going to help you develop your skills, develop your network, and just crush it at the 2019 Global Game Jam. So check out that discussion about keynotes on the Facebook group. It was a lot. I wanted to get all that out and make it very clear, and to involve you guys in the discussion about keynotes, about sponsorships and finances. So again, register January 25th, 26th, 27th of 2019. That's when the Global Game Jam happens. As we get closer, we'll have a lot more updates, and hope to see you guys in the next video, and hopefully I'm sounding a lot better by then. Thanks. See you next time.